It started as just another date for Miguel, a hardworking Filipino immigrant trying to make ends meet in a city that never truly felt like home. But when two police officers pull him over for no reason, things take a turn he never expected. Their words are sharp, their actions even worse, accusing him of crimes he didn't commit. Miguel tries to explain, but they don't care. Instead, they laugh, shove him around, and then do something unthinkable. They tie him to a pole like he's less than human. But what they don't realize is that karma works fast. A crowd gathers, phones come out, and soon the officers who thought they had all the power start to see their mistake unravel right before their eyes. Because Miguel isn't alone. And the truth? It has a way of turning the tables. What happens next will shock everyone watching. Miguel's heart pounds as the rough ropes dig into his wrists. His mind races. How did it come to this? He had done nothing wrong. He was on his way home after a long shift, just trying to get through another day in a city that never truly accepted him. But now, under the harsh glow of streetlights, he's trapped, humiliated, and powerless. The officers smirk, thinking they've won. One of them leans in. "Nobody's gonna care," he mutters. But they're wrong. People are watching. A woman across the street gasps, pulling out her phone. A teenager live streams, his voice shaking with anger. Whispers turn into murmurs, murmurs into shouts. Miguel sees the shift happen. Strangers step forward. Someone demands to know what he did. The cops hesitate, exchanging nervous glances. The power they thought they had is slipping. And Miguel, he's not invisible anymore. The air grows heavier as more people gather. A man in a business suit steps forward, his voice firm. "What's the charge?" The officers hesitate, caught off guard. They weren't expecting to be questioned. He was resisting. One of them finally mutters, but it's weak, unconvincing. The murmurs in the crowd turn into sharp, skeptical whispers. Miguel's breathing steadies. He doesn't feel so alone now. His eyes meet an older woman's in the crowd. She reminds him of his mother, strong, fearless. "I saw everything," she calls out. He didn't do anything. Others nod in agreement. More phones go up, cameras recording every second. The officers shift uncomfortably. Their confidence is cracking. One of them steps back, gripping his belt like it's the only power he has left. But power is changing hands now. The truth is coming to light, and soon they'll have no place to hide. The tension thickens. The officers glance at each other, their confidence slipping as the crowd grows louder. The businessman's questions turn sharper. If he was resisting, why is he tied up like this? No answer. The silence speaks louder than words. Miguel watches, his pulse steadying. He was powerless moments ago, but now something is shifting. The officers know it too. One of them reaches for his radio, his jaw tight. But before he can speak, another voice cuts through the noise. "Let him go." The demand comes from a young woman pushing through the crowd. She holds her phone high, broadcasting everything live. Thousands are watching. The officers' faces pale as they realize this isn't just a few bystanders anymore. It's bigger. Miguel feels the rope around his wrists. He's still trapped, but not for long. Because now the world is watching and justice is closing in. The officers are cornered, their authority slipping away with every second. One of them finally speaks into his radio, calling for backup, but it's too late. The damage is done. The video has already spread, and people everywhere are watching. Miguel sees the fear creeping into their eyes. But just when it seems like the officers might back down, something unexpected happens. A black SUV screeches to a stop nearby. A tall man in a crisp suit steps out, his presence commanding. The crowd quiets for a brief moment. He walks toward the officers with a calm but firm expression. "Untie him," he says, his voice low but firm. The officers freeze. Now he repeats, and this time, they hesitate but start fumbling with the knots. Miguel's hands shake as the ropes come undone. He doesn't know who this man is, but one thing is clear: this fight isn't over yet. The ropes fall to the ground, and Miguel rubs his sore wrists, his mind still racing. The man in the suit turns to the officers, his gaze steady. "Do you have any idea who you just did this to?" he asks. The officers exchange nervous glances, their confidence completely shattered. Miguel is just as confused. Who is this man? Before he can ask, the stranger pulls out a badge, not just any badge, but one with a high-ranking insignia. "Internal Affairs," he announces. The crowd gasps. The officers' faces drain of color. They weren't just caught on camera. They were caught by someone who has the power to end their careers. One officer stammers, "We did," but the man cuts him off. "Save it." He nods toward Miguel. "We've been watching them for weeks. You just gave us exactly what we needed." Miguel stares in shock. He thought he was the victim, but in reality, he had just helped expose something much bigger than himself. The officers don't argue. They know it's over. Within minutes, more authorities arrive, this time not to protect them, but to hold them accountable. The once smug officers are led away, their heads low as the cameras capture every moment. The same crowd that once watched in horror now cheers, knowing justice has finally caught up. Miguel exhales, still processing everything. The man from Internal Affairs turns to him. "You did good today," he says. "People like you help bring the truth to light." Miguel nods, his heart full of emotions, relief, exhaustion, and something he hadn't felt in a long time: hope. As he walks away, free once more, the world around him feels different. He wasn't just a victim, he was a voice. And now, with millions watching, he knows one thing for sure: the fight for justice is far from over. But today, the truth won.